There are moments in life when a single sentence shifts how people see you. One calm reply can end conflict. One honest word can win trust forever. But most don't notice the true power hidden in the way they speak. They rush, they argue, they try to impress. And in that rush, respect quietly walks away. Why do some people command silence when they speak, while others get ignored even when they shout? Why do some men never raise their voices, yet everyone listens? And why is it that those who speak less often seem to say more? You've seen this. You've felt it. At work, in relationships, even with strangers, the ones who are calm, precise, and still are the ones everyone leans in to hear. Imagine a person who speaks only when necessary, not in cowardice, but because what he says has meaning. As a knife is stronger when it's not swung wildly, so talk is stronger when it's used with restraint. A Stoic does not speak to demonstrate. He speaks to serve truth. He does not respond to insult. He selects words like a sculptor cuts stone, deliberately, slowly, with an end greater than the moment. Hello to Book Boost. If you're a person who desires to grow stronger not only in the body, but also in the mind and spirit, this channel is yours. Here, we don't pursue noise. We cultivate inner quiet, idea by idea. In case you derive value from learning how to live with quiet strength, like, pass this along to a person who can use it, and subscribe to remain part of this journey. And please, drop down your one thought on believe in yourself in the comments below. Your words may lift someone up today. Words have the power to heal. Words have the power to kill. Words have the power to lead others or drive them away. But to the Stoic, every word is a product of the soul. That's why we have to first take charge of what takes charge of our tongue, our emotions. Marcus Aurelius once penned, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." We don't talk to be popular. We talk to stand with virtue. In the following sections, we'll take you through how to make each word count, how to communicate with presence, how to react without responding, and how to make silence speak for you when necessary. Because to receive real respect, it's not a matter of speaking more, it's a matter of speaking less, with greater significance. The quiet power of measured speech, mastering the Stoic tone. To speak in a manner that commands respect, you don't have to be loud, monumental, or fluent with thoughtful words. You need only one thing: control. Most of us believe that speaking with power involves using large words, speaking rapidly, or controlling the room. But the reality is just the opposite. The individuals who speak most powerfully are not necessarily the ones doing all the talking. They're the ones who know how to say less and convey more. They're not anxious to prove themselves. They speak words that are forged in thought rather than by impulse. The Stoic voice is still, but never weak. It is serene, but never tentative. It is plain, but heavy with substance. This tone does not come from experience in public speaking, it comes from self-discipline. An individual who can master what they say has most likely taken years mastering what they feel. You cannot imitate this tone. It's not an artifice. It comes from character. Seneca used to say, "Speech that is restrained is better than speech that overflows." Here's what he meant. When your mind is jumbled, your words will be. But when your mind is peaceful, your speech is clear and steady. It's like a lake without waves. When the water is peaceful, it reflects all. When there's a storm, nothing can be seen. Your voice is the same. If you would have others respect you, have your voice be from a consistent mind. Individuals sense your energy before they even hear your words. That's why you can have the right words, and yet remain unheard. It's not what you say, it's the mindset with which you say it. If you speak with tension, anger, or a sense of needing to impress, people will hear you, but they won't believe you. But if you speak peacefully, clearly, and patiently, even silence is precious. Slow speech has nothing to do with being slow. It has everything to do with being thoughtful. You don't have to pause after every sentence or talk like a robot. You just need to back off far enough to allow your mind to continue being in front of your tongue. This small lag, this inner hesitation, makes your words powerful. It distinguishes you from individuals who are continually reacting, always defending, always acting. A Stoic understands that not all thoughts need to be voiced. He runs his words through 3 questions. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? If the answer is no to any one of them, he releases it. This does not mean he does not want to speak. It means he only speaks when there is value in speaking. He is not influenced by pride or the need to win arguments. He is influenced only by the sense of right. This makes his words a luxury. And when there is luxury, it is valuable. In the market of sound, quiet is invaluable. And when you speak like one who may be quiet, but doesn't, people listen more intently. They know you are not speaking for attention. You're speaking because it counts. Controlled speech is also highly linked to emotional resilience. Anger, frustration, insecurity. These are the feelings that cause people to speak too much. They speak in order to strike back, to defend their ego, to chafe against the silence. But the Stoic doesn't do this. He allows silence to work for him some of the time. He understands that silence isn't empty, it's full of comprehension. When insulted, he does not insult back. He answers, if at all, with serene, curt words that indicate he is above the fray. When misconstrued, he does not hasten to clarify. He allows time to prove the truth. When complimented, he doesn't radiate pride. He thanks in humility and goes back to work. In all matters, his tone remains fixed. His words do not rise and fall on others, they remain grounded on his values. To get to this point, you need to train every day. Not in public, but in your own mind. The training begins in your head. Get better at answering yourself clearly. Cut yourself off in the middle of a sentence when you notice your tone moving toward emotion. Reprimand your own inner voice when it begins to sound reactive. Talk to yourself as you would like to talk to others, in truth, in calmness, and in guidance. One of Epictetus' most valuable lessons was this. First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. It is a profound reminder. So many people speak first and reflect later. They wish they hadn't said what they did. They apologize. They attempt to repair that which is broken. But the Stoic sidesteps this process by turning it on its head. He reflects first, deeply, and only then speaks. Often, he finds that silence was the better path anyway. The calm voice of the Stoic orator is that of a mind that no longer requires winning. A mind that no longer requires applause. A mind that no longer responds to every feeling like it's an emergency. This is the source of speech's power. When others sense that you are stable, they will respect you. Not because you dictate it, but because they can sense that they are in the presence of someone who has mastered himself. And that is uncommon. In our world today, everyone has an opinion. Everyone has something to say. But few are listening. Fewer still are speaking from quietness. That's where you emerge. Not by shouting louder, but by becoming quieter, more mindful, more grounded in wisdom. So the next time you're speaking, stop. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this from strength or from fear? Let your voice have the ring of discipline. Let your words be few and full. Let your tone be serene, even when the world is not. And in doing that, you won't need to ask for respect. It will come to you quietly and on its own. Speaking without needing approval. How Stoics command respect in silence. There is a kind of strength that doesn't show off. A kind of voice that doesn't beg to be heard. It exists in those who speak not to please others, but to stay true to what they believe. In the noise of the world, where everyone rushes to be liked, the Stoic chooses a quieter way. Not because he is afraid, but because he knows that truth needs no decoration. We live in a time where approval is sold like cheap candy. Every word we say is often shaped by how it might be received, not by whether it is right or needed. We speak to fit in. We speak to impress. We speak to avoid being judged. But the Stoic stands apart. He does not mold his speech to win applause. He speaks because he must, not because he wants attention. And this difference, though quiet, is everything. Respect never belongs to those who chase it. It is drawn to those who do not need it. The moment you stop trying to be liked is the moment others begin to truly see you. A Stoic does not hide behind silence, nor does he throw words like arrows. He knows when to hold his tongue and when to let it go. His power comes not from loud speeches, but from his ability to stay unmoved by praise or criticism. The need for approval is like a chain. It binds your thoughts. It bends your speech. And worst of all, it forces you to become someone you're not. Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That's not easy. But the wise understand. Approval from others is not proof of virtue. It is only noise. The real judge is your own conscience. Did you speak with honesty? Did you hold your tongue with purpose? Did you let emotion drive your words? Or did you rise above it? Sometimes silence is more powerful than speech. There are times when nothing needs to be said, and still, your presence speaks. A person grounded in his values doesn't need to constantly explain them. His life is the message. His actions become his voice. And when he does speak, it lands. It cuts through. It matters, because people know it is not casual, not for show, not seeking applause. To speak without needing approval means you do not fear misunderstanding. You are not chasing a perfect response from others. You do not adjust your tone for every mood in the room. You are not speaking to win hearts. You are speaking because it is right. That is all. And that is enough. This kind of speech makes people listen, not out of fear, not out of flattery, but out of respect. There's a kind of peace in being misunderstood, a kind of power in not correcting every wrong view about you. That peace is only possible when you no longer need to be seen in a certain way. The Stoic learns to let go of that need. He lets others think what they will. His focus is not on their thoughts but on his own discipline. If he is misunderstood for doing the right thing, so be it. If he is ignored for being honest, so be it. He does not trade his truth for temporary approval. We all know what it feels like to shape our words just to avoid judgment. We lower our voice to avoid conflict. We stay quiet when we know we should speak. Or we speak when we should have stayed quiet, just because silence felt too heavy. But once you step into the Stoic mindset, that changes. You stop asking, "What will they think of me?" and start asking, "What is the right thing to say or not say in this moment?" Seneca taught that speech must be guided by reason, just as actions are. This means we don't speak from habit or emotion. We don't just say what feels good. We think. We pause. We listen, even to our own silence, before we speak. And when we do speak, our words are clear, simple, and honest. No decoration. No hidden motives. Just truth. Sometimes the most powerful sentence is no sentence at all. You don't need to argue your worth. You don't need to defend yourself to every critic. You don't need to win every debate. You don't need to answer every insult. The Stoic knows that dignity grows in restraint. When people see that you are not desperate to defend your image, they begin to see something greater, inner authority. When you are not looking for others to give you value, your speech becomes clean. Not because you're trying to be superior, but because you are finally free. Free from trying to be impressive. Free from being controlled by opinions. Free from the fear of rejection. And in this freedom, your words gain weight. They start to carry depth, not because of volume, but because of intention. Many people think that silence means weakness, but that's only true when silence comes from fear. Stoic silence is not fear, it is control. It is power. It is the discipline to wait, the wisdom to observe, the strength to know that not everything needs a response. And when you do speak, it is not to defend your pride. It is to lift up truth. You'll find that once you let go of the need to be liked, your words become sharp but clean. You will speak less and be heard more. People will come to value what you say, not because it's loud, but because it's real. You'll stop arguing with fools. You'll stop trying to win every conversation. You'll start asking yourself, does this deserve my words? And if not, you'll let it pass. Respect is not taken by force. It is earned through consistency, through calm, through strength under control. And all of these are shaped in silence, not noise. The Stoic does not perform when he speaks. He reveals. He doesn't manipulate. He expresses truth. And this, in a world full of masks, is what people truly respect. To speak without needing approval is to live without chains. It is to find your words again, not as weapons, but as mirrors of your inner peace. And the more peace you build within, the less noise you'll feel outside. Then, when you do speak, even silence will listen. The voice of the inner citadel, letting virtue speak louder than ego. When we speak, we often do so as if our words were weapons to prove our importance, or shields to protect our pride. Yet the true strength of a person's voice does not come from loudness or cleverness. It comes from the calm fortress inside, the inner citadel where virtue lives. The Stoics taught us that our true power is the control we have over ourselves. When the ego is silent, the soul can finally be heard. Imagine your mind as a city, strong walls surrounding a peaceful center. This center is not shaken by storms of anger or waves of fear. It holds firm because it is built on wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, the four pillars of virtue. When you speak from this place, your words carry the weight of truth, not the noise of desire or frustration. Too often, we let the outside world control us. A harsh word from another makes us angry. A slight pushes us into prideful defense. But this is the habit of the untrained mind. The Stoic seeks to master this by looking inward, learning to listen to reason before reacting with emotion. There is a story of Epictetus, a slave who became one of the greatest teachers of Stoicism. When his master struck him, he did not reply with anger or shame. Instead, he said calmly, "I am not disturbed by what happens to me, but by my judgment about it." This simple truth shows that respect begins within. If your own mind respects your character and your calmness, others will feel it too. Speaking from the inner citadel means speaking without the need to impress. It means not chasing approval but standing steady in your own truth. It is the silence that speaks volumes, the pause before answering that makes others lean in to hear. It is knowing that your words are not for decoration but for purpose. In this world, many seek attention by raising their voices or telling grand stories. But the one who has learned to control his passions knows that the loudest voice is often the weakest. It is the calm, measured word, given with quiet confidence, that commands real respect. Self-control is the master key here. Without it, words become weapons of chaos. With it, words become bridges to understanding. The Stoic's voice is not a storm. It is a steady flame, lighting the way. We must practice speaking slowly, thinking deeply before words leave our lips. When someone insults us, the immediate urge is to strike back. But the wiser response is to pause, breathe, and remember what Marcus Aurelius said: how much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it. The Inner Citadel teaches us to speak less about ourselves and more about what is true. It reminds us that respect is not gained by boasting, but by listening and speaking only when it serves good. When we do this, we become like the oak tree, rooted deeply, unshaken by the wind of others' opinions. When you learn to let your virtues guide your voice, your presence will naturally inspire respect. People sense when someone speaks with integrity, humility, and wisdom. It is not what you say, but how you carry yourself that moves others. The quiet strength of virtue is louder than any shout. Remember Seneca's words: sometimes even to live is an act of courage. It takes courage to hold your tongue when provoked, to choose humility over pride, and to speak truth in a world filled with noise. This courage comes from knowing yourself, understanding your values, and refusing to be controlled by fleeting emotions. Your voice, when led by the Inner Citadel, becomes a tool of peace and strength. It breaks down walls of misunderstanding and builds connections of trust. It is not just what you say, but the calm power behind it that changes how others see you. Let your words be few, but full of meaning. Let your silence speak volumes when words would only add noise. This is the path of the Stoic speaker, one who commands respect not by demanding it, but by embodying it. So, we do not rush to fill the air with sound. We wait, we listen, we choose carefully. We understand that respect is earned through patience and self-mastery. The Inner Citadel protects us from the storms of ego, allowing us to stand firm and speak with true power. In this practice, every conversation becomes an opportunity to strengthen your character. Every moment of silence, a chance to reflect. Every word, a step toward becoming the person you wish others to see. When you let virtue speak louder than ego, you transform not only how others hear you, but how you hear yourself. You build a foundation of respect that cannot be shaken by anger, envy, or fear. This is the true voice of strength, calm, steady, and unyielding. This is the voice that earns respect without demanding it. This is the voice of the Inner Citadel,